Hello, class. Um, I am doing this demo to um, just kind of show you how I would handle an egg drawing, which is your next assignment. I have all sorts of things out here. I have, of course, the usual, the kneaded eraser, the blending tool. This time I've added the cloth, and then I have the white eraser, of course. I've also added vine charcoal, and I'm going to be using the same materials as before. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the vine charcoal and maybe the cloth. So let's just jump right in. I want to make sure that I don't have this video go longer than it needs to. So I'm going to use I'm basically, the way that I'm going to handle this is I'm going to use one of the heavier leads I'm going to use the 4B to just fill in everything. And then what I'm going to do, we'll be using the eraser quite a bit because I'm going to start to take away some of the value. So I'll fill in and then I'll take away. You see the still life here. So I'm looking from a different angle. So if it doesn't look just like what you see, then that's the reason why. Okay, so I've done this very, very messy gesture drawing, and I'll just jump right in. So I'm looking at this egg right here. This is my shape for that egg. So the right side of that egg is filled. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually gonna fill in everything here. And I've drawn some loose lines as far as the cloth goes. Just because I do want to have a not too much of a rigid guide, but what of a loose guide as to um, what direction I'm going in with the cloth. It'll guide me in the right direction once I get to that part. So my darker part starts to be here. And I probably won't do, if I'm seeing that I'm going to go over 20 minutes, which that is about the time limit for my previous drawings, then I will, I'm just going to take it that you guys get the idea for your assignment. So I'm making this dark. Parts of it are going to be darker than others. It kind of curves around. And then there's some reflections on these eggs that we'll capture. But this part is darker. It goes to a point. Part of it is really lighter, a lot lighter. And we'll get rid of a lot of stuff there. There's some stuff going on right here. And then here's kind of like a curved deal here, and then this goes here, and this is curved, it goes that way. It just helps me as far as, you do what works for you, but it helps me when I can go ahead and, as far as getting rid of outlines, when I can go ahead and just get rid of the outline right off the bat by filling everything in, and then just erasing based off of that. So I'm going to start with the kneaded eraser. There is some value here. There's some value here. This part is the lightest part right here. I'm looking right there. That's the lightest part of the egg. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase that. Now, I am going to, hold on, get rid of some of this lead. I am going to blend this because this part is not quite this dark. This part should all be white. So I'm getting rid of this. And if you can use a white, if you can use a white cloth, that would be the best thing, because then you'd be able to see all of the values, and then you won't have to necessarily match the value up front. Let's see. That's somewhat of still a gray value right there. Okay, blending tool. And don't worry about how messy it gets, because you can always go back and do some correcting with your blending tool. That's what it's for. Alrighty. So there's a little bit more of the egg that needs some work. That's a little bit thinner. We get rid of that. And then something goes back there. This goes a little bit further back here. This is super bright right here. We don't even want to touch. And then it kind of goes off here. So that's that. Brighter value here, so I'm just going to lightly brush up against that. Darker value here, which means I'll grab my 6 and like right under here I want to create kind of a darker value there. And then there's a little bit of a lighter value here, which I'll take the kneaded eraser and go there. I don't think you can see this, but I see it from my viewpoint, so I want to make sure I capture it. So we'll do a little bit of blending here. Come up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Okay, so again, no outlines, different values. Of course, we can always go back and capture some value using the blending tool and then using the eraser to kind of take away. So you just have to kind of work with it. And then of course the outskirts of that that's gonna be the cloth. So I'm looking at this piece right here. That's gonna call for I would say a medium. That would be the 4B. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in. And just remember, when lights and darks are up against each other, that's always going to be beneficial to the drawing. So if I have this here, and then it's going to be a little bit darker around the edges, so I'll take that 6B. Kind of make it darker around the edges. And then here, my cloth is lighter right here. So here I'm gonna fill in here. So we'll fill in here. We have something going there. And then of course this is whiter right there. And then this kind of blouses out like this. What I want to do is I want to get rid of this line here. And then I just want to kind of blend what I have going on here. I'm trying to do this kind of quickly so you can just get the idea, and then you'll see how it all comes into play. Once you start to see the cloth come to some sort of shape. Okay, I actually fill that in, but that should be open because I'm going to fill this part in, which is darker. So let's take this. We'll fill this in as a shadow. And then there's a little bit of it that lightens up right in there. Okay. So now we have, I'm right here. We have a darker part here. That comes there. So this should actually, yeah, this runs into that. And then there's a piece here that runs up. So I'm just kind of figuring out where these pieces go, where these darker values, I should say, go. And I'm filling them in, and then I'm gonna do some blending here. I'm right there, and then that'll go away. Okay, so here, and again, I'm using the Vine charcoal. This goes this way, this goes that way. Some of this curves around here. And then there's some values here that are lighter and darker, but I'm just gonna fill it in. I'm gonna blend it, and then I'm gonna add and take away. Okay? So now I'm blending. And you could tackle cloth in two different ways. You could make it really pointy if you want to, or you can make it curve like this. So I could make it point like this, like point, or I could make it curve. Either one is effective. We want a little bit of value in here. We want to get rid of that outline right there. There's some stuff going there. So I'm just pretty much going with the flow on this. Sometimes this Vine charcoal is not as smooth as, you know, you have to put a little muscle into it as far as this blending tool. So now I'm up here. Going this route. That's more of a pointy one there. And then you still want a little bit of value in some of these lightest areas, just to be able to have it blend well with what is going on. So I'm looking in here. This part goes over there, and then there's something going on right in this area. There's a shape there. And guys, remember, these are literally all shapes. They're organic shapes. So you want to kind of capture what is going on and capture the shapes of everything. This should be light. That part should be light. This part should be dark. So looks messy at first, but just stick with it. Just stick with it, and you'll start to see it come to be what you want it to be. Okay. This is literally how I handle cloth. And again, the key is, and of course this is not as detailed as I could make it just because of time. But there are many details, like this detail here where this part is lighter in the middle. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and erase a little bit of this. If you want to prevent, all of the messiness, and then you'll to keep yourself from having to erase a lot after you finish, you can get a paper towel, and you can put the paper towel over the area that you're working in, and then you will be able to prevent all of the residue from the charcoal, because it can be very messy. You'll be able to prevent that from spreading throughout your drawing. Okay, so yeah, let's erase a little more of this. It kind of goes that way, and then we'll add some here because there's something we want to cover that line. Do a little bit of blending here. Let's see here. Let's see what else I can do. And then once I start to cover, so I'm gonna go back over here. This area is lighter, so we want to get rid of that outline, clean that up a little bit, and then we can deal with this. So now what I want to do is I want to fill this in. I'm right here. I want to fill this in as I see it. And then this part is going to be darker. So actually, I'll go ahead and switch to my vine charcoal. So this is going to be darker. And it goes up this way and kind of fades out. So it'll be darker close to the crease, and then lighter as we go out. And then there's some parts here that need to be addressed. A little bit here that's going, it's supposed to go into this rock. It's a little longer than what I'm doing. But, and then a little bit of a shadow right here. Yeah. Okay, so we're totally dealing with this one egg right here. I'll try to get to some others. Let's see, where are we with time? Oh, we're at 19 minutes. This might go a little longer, guys. So just be prepared to watch if you need some guidance on this. So again, I'm just blending based off of what I see. I definitely do not want any outlines left once I'm done. That's the goal. I don't want you guys to have any outlines left once you're done. But you're it's almost like in handling this cloth is almost kind of like doing a gesture drawing. You're looking at it, you are figuring out the lights and the darks, the value, the different ranges in value, and then you'll the only difference is, of course, you not timed, and you have the ability to go back and do some shaping. So I'm gonna go back. Actually, I'm gonna go back with this tool, this eraser, and try to get rid of some of this. We have the brightest part. Sometimes we still have to brighten it up just a little bit. Round that off just a little bit. Okay. So there's that, right? Hold on. I need to there's a part. So I want to, even though I've taken away here, I want to darken some areas here just because there are some darker areas. Okay. So now, let's see. Again, this is so this kind of highlights my egg, and even around this way. Actually, let me grab this tool here. There's a little line there, and then this part goes really light there the whole way. It should curve. So this is not anything that you need to rush at. This is something that takes time. Getting the shape of the eggs in the right way is going to take some time. Making sure you have the right values assigned, that's going to also take time. Making sure you have the right values in the right places on the egg is very important. So those are some things that I want you to pay attention to in particular when doing this drawing. Of course, you're going to pay attention to composition. I want you to pay attention to composition. Make sure that you are thinking about that as you're doing your drawing. What else? Have fun with it. Make sure you have a light source. Yeah. Take your time with this. If you do this in one day, it should take you about 3 hours in order to do a good drawing. Okay? Should take you about 3 hours. Do not, I would like for you to follow the directions. Make sure that you are doing this from observation. Don't leave, I have these guidelines for a reason, guys, so I want you to follow them. It's only going to help you get better. So it's for I know I sound like a parent, but it's for your own good. All right. Um, yeah. I'm just finishing up some stuff. I'm gonna do one more egg, and I'll do this portion of it, and then we'll stop the drawing. Um, and you could reference this as you know how I'd like for you to handle this drawing. Okay, there's a part here. Number one, let's clean this up. Because the eggs are very distinct in their shape. And then there's a part here that needs to be lighter. I want to make sure I get the right shape with that. This could be a little darker here. And this could actually be a little lighter right in this area here. Okay, so then we just kind of shape this on up here, and then we'll do a little bit of blending. So there's that. And then keep in mind this, making sure that these shapes are going in the right direction is very important as well. Just because it helps to form the depth in your object. So in this case, it's an egg, of course. It helps to form the depth in the egg. So it gives us an idea of the shape of the egg. I feel like there should be some, I need to take away some stuff. Because all of that is not going to be outlined. It looks outlined right now. So taking that away. Taking that away. Taking that away. And actually adding that right there. You see that makes it a little bit more of the shape of an egg. Okay.